Greetings, I am Tom Earl. Welcome to the celebration. As you know, this is my year of courage. I know you could be anywhere, so the fact that you are here today sharing your greatest gifts, your time, and your energy means the world to me. I hope you know that you are loved just as you are. We're going to start off this episode the way we start off all of our sessions when it's just you and me, is aligning our intentions with our breath. So take a second to check on your posture. Think of an intention you have, and on the count of 3, we are going to breathe in deeply. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. And release. One more time, breathe in. And release. If you are listening to this episode the day it has come out, I'm excited to share with you that 2 days ago, Adora and I got married here in Nigeria. Woo! It was, as I imagined, super amazing. Gonna be totally honest, recorded this part right here before I left because while I'm in Nigeria, I will not be doing any work. Spoiler alert, I hope you didn't think that I literally recorded this 2 seconds before I released it. Either way, my friends, what we are focusing on in these next 3 episodes, last week's, this week's, and next week's, is ending 2018 strong and starting 2019 in a way we have never done so before, which is pursuing our dreams with an even more strength, with even more confidence, with even more passion and expression. I want to be on that journey with you. We're ending this with reflection, really thinking about 2018. What was awesome about it? What do I want to do even better? All of those things, and having that done in advance so that when January 1st, 2019 rolls around, we are already ready to be ready. I'm just trying to see how many ways I can say ready in this sentence, but I'm going to get to the point, and that is that we're ready on January 1, 2019 to start envisioning and to start implementing. What we're going to do today is we are going to jump into a session of Inner Power group coaching. If you listened to last week's session, you know that I'm inviting you to become a member of the Celebration Academy by being a part of Inner Power group coaching. Now you might be saying, okay, Tom, we get it. Inner Power group coaching. The reason I'm inviting you is because I really want to be a part of your journey in realizing that dream that you've always had, or if you already have a dream that you're implementing, or you already have a business you're working on. I want to allow you to use me as a shortcut to not make the same mistakes I did. All of the thousands of hours of courses I myself have gone through and coaching I have received, and all of the thousands of hours of managing other businesses and my own and providing strategic planning for nonprofits and businesses. I want you to have all of that knowledge and then take it in an hour rather than having to take it in the 10 years that I had to do it. Of course, you won't take it all in an hour, but you can take in easily digestible, easily implementable, and empowering tools and strategies that I share with you in that hour that is our group coaching sessions. Today, we're going to focus on what is called 3-star reviews. If you are trying to find ways to communicate with your audience or with your customers, if you're trying to find ways to write persuasive writing, or if you are working on launching a new product and you're trying to find ways to describe your product or your service, 3-star reviews are super helpful and super empowering. And I highly recommend you listen to this session, do the work as we go through it, write down the ideas, and then start to use it in your life. As I mentioned last time, I would love for you to become a member of Inner Power Group Coaching. And if you join before the end of 2018, I will gift you with 50% off your first month. You can find all that information at tomrell.com/coach. Use coupon code DREAMBIG. But now I'm going to get out of the way. As always, as I've mentioned, there are parts where I would tell the group, okay, go and work on this for 2 minutes within the workshop. I'm going to edit that out so you're not listening to no noise. You're just sitting there like, okay, Tom, get to the point. And so during those moments, I've edited that out. If you are following along with us, I suggest you hit pause, work on it, hit play when you're ready to join that If you're listening to the podcast and not watching the video, I apologize. There's going to be a few moments where I say to the group, can you see what I'm showing? And I'm doing a screen share where they're seeing one of my handouts. Have patience. We do read and describe what it is that is on the screen. So know that I have you in mind and I apologize. All right, I'm going to get out of the way and I hope you enjoy this workshop. So what we're going to talk about today is it's called 3-star reviews. And what the concept is that if you were to go on like Amazon or Reddit or any sort of place, or Yelp, any sort of place that has reviews, you can find 3-star reviews. And what's awesome about 3-star reviews is that you can get things that somebody liked and disliked about somebody's book, about their content, about their podcast, about their music, about their like brick and mortar business. And then what we can do is we can start to copy and paste out information or actual words people have said into some sort of document that you can then use to talk about your business. So if somebody said something really good, you could take that out and put it on the what did people enjoy. You could start to use their actual language. And then when people say what is lacking, you could pull that out as well and start to talk about things that people are lacking. And you could turn that into Facebook ads. You could turn that into the copy that you use for your description. You could use it when you're having everyday conversations with people. And when you can use phrases that people are already saying is lacking, you can start to anticipate the hesitations that they have. And you might already be naturally doing this. For instance, I was helping a company recruit for a program they had. And people kept saying they didn't have enough time. They felt like they were too busy. So I would say, hey, are you interested in this program? They'd say, yeah, I am. I'd say, well, let me just start off by saying, I remember when I did the program, I felt like I never had enough. I wasn't having enough time to do it. Like, oh, that's exactly what I was worried about. I was like, well, actually it became this safe space that every week, no matter how busy I was, I could just be there. And they're like, wow, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And so you can anticipate those things and have language already prepared. Well, they'll see themselves in it. Because when we're doing sales and when we're trying to build an audience, the best thing we can do is use empathy as our friend. And one of the ways to use empathy in this way is to really put yourself in their shoes and try to speak directly to them. Any questions on how we would use this?
So you're suggesting finding people in similar jobs or industries to what we're selling and then look at the reviews of their products, right? Am I understanding this correctly?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Pulling out the good and the bad.
Mm-hmm. So let's pick one right now. I grabbed ones from all of your industries. So we'll start with you, Jonathan. You said you wanted to focus on your coaching, right?
Yeah.
So I know you do heart-centered coaching from what we've talked about. Is this true?
Yes.
More or less? Okay. So, a big book, I don't know if everybody's heard. People are always talking about how to be a badass. Has anybody heard of this book?
How to be a badass.
Yeah. I see Dale shaking his head, Jonathan writing down. So
I know the You Are a Badass.
Yeah, You Are a Badass.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're very familiar with that. Yes.
Okay. So this is a huge book, and so wanted to just start there because, I feel like she's really brought personal development to a new and younger audience that maybe hasn't connected with this in the past. And so let's just go through this real quick, and Jonathan, especially for you, we'll have you kind of go first of what are some things that you think they're saying were awesome and some things that were lacking. Okay. So for the most part, I think the ideas in this book are underwhelming at best, and at some points kind of awful. Source energy is this proper noun that you can connect to if you only believe. When you're one with source energy, this is going to take a really long time to read. I think we can read it better just with our eyes. And I want everybody to kind of pick out, what do you think are some things they're saying that are lacking, that they enjoy, or just some memorable phrases that you think you can pull out if you were to be in Jonathan's shoes and you were going to be selling coaching services, or talking about some sort of coaching program that you have. So what are some things, I'm going to leave it up so we can talk. Can you see me on your screen while I have this up, or do you only see the image?
I see you.
Oh, you see me. Okay. So what are some things that, first of all, stuck out to you, just kind of looking at this?
For me, just the way it started, it just seemed like there wasn't going to be anything that they liked about the book. But they gave it 3 stars, so I knew there must be something coming. So it's very helpful to know that someone can hate something overall, but still find enough redeeming stuff in it to give it a 3-star review. Hate the philosophy, but still be able to see, or hate the forest, but still be able to see trees that they like in it.
I think one thing I'm taking from that is people are fickle. Like, you'll find when you start reading reviews that people are like, this book was amazing, but why 1 star? So what are some words or phrases that jump out to you that if you were to start to talk about your coaching, you're like, oh, okay, this could be something that I could say, either anticipating something negative or speaking to a positive?
I think she takes a long time to say it, but it seems like her main complaint is that it's like big on inspiration without any sort of practical advice, that it doesn't feel practical to her, that there's not a lot in this book that she felt she could really move forward with, that it was just a lot of sort of vague, abstract, inspirational stuff that she wasn't connecting with.
Do you see any specific phrases that you could kind of copy and paste and say?
Yeah, it's hard. She spreads it out so much. I mean, she says, I think any self-help book, even one marketed towards people of faith, should provide, actual help.
So I might say something like, doesn't it seem like a lot of self-help books these days are underwhelming at best, and at some points kind of just awful? I might start with something like that. Do you find that your science mind or rational mind sometimes finds it hard to buy into all of the woo-woo language out there? Like somebody who's science minded will be like, oh yeah, like that's my biggest thing that's bothering me. I might take some things out of there. For the things that, I do like is, this book feels like an old friend who's doing way better than you in life and smiling bravely and not judging you. I might use some things like that. Are you looking for a book that's just enough to give you a little kick in the rear that sets you in motion? I might use some of the language from that.
Mm-hmm.
But can I say, on the positive side, she talks about the author's humor and honesty. I mean, that's something you can highlight too. To say, are you are you fed up with books that are, don't seem honest, that don't seem sincere, and are just way too serious? Well, humor and honesty.
Yes, well said. Yeah, you might even just like say something like, self-help doesn't have to be boring. It can also be humorous and honest. You can have both. Awesome. I like that. Sadia, is there anything that sticks out to you?
Yeah, well, this was going back to the negative part. So I would say actually right where you're like scrolling your arrow, maybe say something like, isn't it, do you ever irritated irritated that self-help books are just telling you, well, why don't you just stop being depressed? I thought that was a pretty like key phrase.
I like that. You could even say something like, I've read many self-help books over my day, and they all seem to just say, just do it. Or why don't you just think more positive? does that ever annoy you? You could like kind of summarize, like some people would scroll through and be like, yes, exactly. Jonathan, as the one focusing on coaching, do you find any of this helpful?
Yeah, it is helpful. And I mean, yeah, because I actually wrote a self-help book, and I actually talk about some of this stuff, like how the self-help industry gets so, you know, off the rails. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. We'll go on to everyone else then. We can come back. Jonathan, I also went and looked up some on Brene Brown. Thought she might be kind of up your alley. And then, you know, kind of like the one we all start with, Tony Robbins. And they all on Amazon have really great language you can take out that's really helpful. So let's move to Adora, because Adora is a good example, because Adora is working to be a tastemaker and to be like a curator, where you'd go to her site and it'd have really awesome content from everything from music to fashion to anything that she sees, because really you're selling your taste, you're selling your ability to curate. And so then you kind of got to think, well, 3-star, what book would that be? Or where would I find that on Amazon? And so then what you start to do is you, throughout your life, when you're going through your Facebook news feed or you're reading a blog, you'd really start to kind of copy and paste when you see people kind of reblog or reshare things that sound like it might be your industry. So if we were to say tastemakers or curators of content, what are some things that everybody thinks of? What are some people, blogs, platforms? What are some things you think of?
In a very wide sense, maybe Teen Vogue.
Yeah, Teen Vogue's a great example.
Huffington Post sometimes.
Huffington Post is another one.
New Yorker,
BuzzFeed. So what you start doing is looking for reviews anywhere you can find on like Reddit threads, or, you know, searching BuzzFeed reviews, or you could just search, like I searched, we'll start with this one. I searched good fashion blogs. And this was just a question somebody posted on Reddit. Like most of us millennial gals, I love following fashion bloggers. However, recently I noticed a surge in sponsored content among all of the bloggers I know. And it kind of goes on to talk about this. Anyone following any great up-and-coming bloggers? Have any friends with a great blog? Run a blog yourself? What do you think, Adora, you could use, or anybody you could use, just using this person's exact thing that's upsetting them, that you could speak to this question that they're having?
I could start with the beginning. Have you found that most of the blogs that you see of the tastemakers seem to be sponsored? Are you finding yourself kind of wondering how much these people actually believe in what they're saying, or they have a bigger belief in the paycheck they're getting for saying it? Well, here's a blog that is not subject to any sort of sponsorship, and it's exactly Adora's eye, the way she sees everything, and nothing to do with big money backers or Wall Street.
Awesome. I could even see, like, if you were to run a Facebook ad, you taking a screenshot of somebody's blog where it says sponsored content right at the top, and you like circling it, you know, or doing some sort of like video of you kind of putting a collage of sponsored content. You know, do you really like it if somebody paid you to like it? You know, or you could even do like a funny video of you eating something and hating it, and then somebody giving you $30 and being like, I love this. You know, you could really play on that in some humorous ways as well.
I do. I think it's cool, but I feel like this would be a terrible tack, because I'd be shooting myself in the foot, because ultimately I'm hoping to be sponsored, no?
True, you are. But then the question becomes, how do you do sponsored posts without it, you know, dissing the integrity of your brand? Do you then show yourself still saying, I don't like it? You know what I mean? Or is it that you only post the content that you like? You know?
True. It's a gnarly one to contend with.
But I think you could still speak to that your blog isn't just a bunch of sponsored content, that it's actually things you like. Does that make sense?
I do.
So let's talk about Dale, because Dale is a good example. Dale, I compared yours to Pod Save America. How do you feel about that? You're on mute.
Sorry, that's good. In fact, I would love to be in their umbrella. They have like 5 podcasts under their thing. I would love to be the 6th one. That'd be awesome.
Okay, cool.
So very good comparison.
So one thing that's, I think, makes Dale's as a good example is sometimes people are going to be so polarized on something that you're going to need to combine 1 and 5-star reviews. Because there was very few people on Pod Save America who were like middle tier, which really speaks to where we're at in terms of our politics. Could even be something that you could say, like you're either going to love us or hate us. There will be no 3-star reviews for VS La Resistance. You know what I mean? So what's fun about yours too is you really can use the negative reviews as your positive reviews. So let's grab a couple of these. Here's one of your negative ones. Where's the picture? Share screen. Nope, you're just seeing my entire background. Okay, share. There it is. Okay. Can y'all see this?
Mm-hmm.
So Dale's, you're definitely a left-leaning podcast, right, Dale? Yeah, Dale, they kind of like talk bad about Trump and in a humorous way. So kind of wear that hat where your goal is to talk, like to allow people to vent about how Trump is crazy, but in a humorous way. How do you think you could use something like this? I apologize, it got cut off at the end. But we can kind of imagine what they'd say.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to use it in a humorous way. You can use it in a serious way.
Sure. Well, I can see that the complaint here is that kind of making fun of him has been done. But really what this person wants is figuring out how to get good candidates elected instead to do something practical. So they work towards the practical rather than, they don't see the point of having humor about it. But even though they're apparently on the left as well. So really, on the one hand, one reaction could be, hey, part of our, enjoy and laugh, but also as part of our resources we have, here's how you get to know your local candidates or your whatever, some kind of action item there. Whether it's in the podcast or in a bonus episode or in, on the website elsewhere. So that'd be one way to address that.
Mm-hmm. Anyone have any writing copy or any sort of prompts coming to your mind of how you might use this to speak if you were in Dale's shoes?
You can say our podcast is here not only to make you laugh, but to help build the community and what other terms was I thinking? Help build the community and engage the community in making actual political movement.
I like that. I like that a lot because I like the routes. Yeah, Sadia took of instead of kind of trying to isolate this person and say, we don't care. You're not our audience anyways. How do we pull them in? I could see something like more than just a good laugh, kind of as a play on more than just a pretty face, like trying to do some sort of image or video or copy that kind of spoke to that. Like we're more than just a good laugh, which we are good for, but we also are trying to empower you to make a change. We're actually a movement. We're more than just, you could do some sort of play on that as well. Great suggestion, Sadia. So this was the 1-star. So then we would go over to one of the 5-star reviews for you, which were in plentiful. So let's have Jonathan or Adora jump in. What do you think is a way, if you were hosting a podcast similar to Dale's, that you could use what this person says to speak directly to them and people like them?
Maybe something about, if something about if you felt shocked, if you feel shocked by the way, if you feel utterly shocked by the way direction our politics has gone, this podcast will not pull its punches when it comes to telling you the truth.
I like it. Why don't you turn those into two different sentences? I think you'll have it easier. Why don't you start the first one as a question and then make the last one as a statement about the pulling punches? We don't pull punches. Why don't you try something like that?
Right. Are you in utter shock over the current state of our politics? Our podcast, I don't know. I feel like I'm just parroting this.
No, you are. We're literally going to take their exact words.
Yeah.
I'd add one more question. So you're saying, are you in shock of the way our election is? Now you need to ask some sort of question that'll bridge. We don't pull punches. Like, are you looking for, or, something like that? Maybe this one right here. The second one.
You're using my example.
What? Oh, okay.
Why don't you take it over, Adora?
You want to tag team Adora in?
Mine's a slightly different approach.
Okay.
Were you one of those people who didn't really pay much attention to politics at all before the last general election? If so, this is a very good place for you to start to step up and learn about how things are going in a way that you can still laugh and be informed.
It's awesome. I dig it.
Or rather, to use the words exactly, smart in a smart, informative, funny, and honest way.
That's great. Now, the one, I really like that. And, because that is part of the audience, because I can very much identify with that. I mean, I've always sort of followed politics, but I've never been this obsessed since November. It's like, really? So the other thing that I picked up on was the phrase, they somehow keep politics from being dry and boring.
Mm.
And that's certainly hopefully something we do as well, even though we're kind of making fun of it and have sort of an alternative timeline to what's happening. But it's really based on what is actually happening. So things that come up, issues that come up, like the kids in cages and like all kinds of other things, do work their way into our storylines as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way to keep it from being boring. So there's two different things there. Yeah, one is part of the audience, they're not political obsessives, but they kind of been forced to be because of everything that's going on. They're confused, they're stressed, and that's who we're out to attract.
Yes, I like it. So, do you have anything you want to add?
Nope. I think you guys covered it.
Okay. I like how there's a number of elements you could kind of tie in. So you could do the I can relate, like we did on our checklist. Were you someone who before 2016 wasn't necessarily paying attention to politics? I can relate. I remember that after the night of the election, I was in utter shock, and I realized that I needed to step up and learn. And so I created BS the Resistance so we can have a way that doesn't pull punches with the truth, yet can make politics seem not just dry and boring. So you can kind of speak to your example as well. And, when we're doing this, we want to think of what would be the story you tell with a video or an image. And so just already using some of the ones you said, I could see kind of like a split image, one on one side that would say like before 2016, and it'd have like you in an empty room or you watching sports or something, nothing to do with politics. And then after 2016, maybe it has like lots of books or articles and just like bubble windows where you're like, no, he said what? Oh my God, what's happening to the world? And then you could have just your ad could be like, can you relate? Looking for a no pull punches. Or the dry, the dry and boring. You might have like you sitting down to like just like a piece of toast with like a fork and a knife. And it's like most news shows. And then another one could be like you eating, I don't know, like some curry or something that's the opposite of dry and boring, like hours, something like that, way to visually represent that.
I'm also kind of curious, maybe this is just me, but I feel like not pulling punches isn't really a selling point. I think anybody, especially on the left, pulls punches, and it might actually be helpful to have a more moderate, balanced view. But I wonder, maybe it's just my perspective at the moment.
You're saying it's good to pull punches?
Yeah, I feel like everyone's not pulling punches.
I can get that. I think there's a fair amount of people who are just like, why are these people behaving this way? Does it have to be, World Wrestling Federation?
Yeah.
Since when did our politics become that way? So I get that too. But I really, really love the before-after split screen idea, because it's so true, and I definitely that aligns with my experience, and I'm sure a lot of people too. So and a lot of people that we would love to have as our audience, because they I can definitely see that one.
Sadia, I saw your hand up.
Oh yes, which I like that idea too. I just want to say that I don't know what that phrase means. I don't know if there's like some kind of a difference, generational difference, but pulling punches, I can guess what it means from context, but like if I were to see that in an advertisement, I don't actually know what it means to pull punches.
I mean, literally from boxing, it's like you could, the other boxer gives you an opening and you could knock his lights out, but you decide not to pull your punch. So you're not hitting as hard as you could.
But I think it's so helpful to note there's a whole generation that it means nothing to. So it may not really be a useful phrase, which is good to know.
Yeah, I had thought to pull a punch is to take a cheap shot. And it sounds like pulling a punch is the opposite. It's like having mercy. Okay, so they're saying they don't have mercy, that they take see, I didn't know that. And so, Adora, you're saying that it's not a selling point, that you're looking for a place that does pull punches. Is that what you're saying?
And I'm also saying now that Sadia's brought it up, and what you've just said, it's not necessarily even a useful phrase at all, because there's a whole bunch of people that it means nothing to, or they don't really understand what it means.
Or like a typical person engaging in American politics. I think I know what it means, but I have no idea. I comfortably use the word from a place of authority. Okay, cool. So let me show you for Sadia's example. I'm going to show you how you would kind of go about finding these. So I'd search, what do you look for in a good film composer Reddit?
In the meantime, I can share some of my 3-star reviews.
Okay.
With some of the film and TV composers I've worked with, I found that sometimes they've been great. What I like about the great ones is that when I don't know what direction I'm going, they'll lead me by the hand and kind of show me things and give me a good taste of what I didn't know I liked. And they will introduce me to new music and new territory. And sometimes when I have absolutely no idea, they will be the ones to step in and say, what about this? What about that? The ones I don't like are the ones that are kind of already come with ideas fixed in their head for what they want. And regardless of what you're showing them, they want to use the same piece of music. And you're like, surely there's room for light, shade, and nuance here. And then what I also don't like is when I have no idea, they're kind of like, get back to me when you know what you want. And I'm like, but this is your department. I have 101 other decisions to do. Think of something, show me, and come back to me. So yeah, those are my 3-star reviews.
What was the last part? You said you don't like when people don't manage it themselves?
Yeah, when I'm like, I don't know what I want to do here at all, and I want you to take care of it. And they say to me, well, get back to me when you know what you want. And I'm like, no, I want you to handle this. Come back to me with something, and then we will work from there. But I will not be your inspiration or your leader here. Here's the footage. Think of something on your own.
If I could say something here,
Okay.
I can give my reviews because I'm very lucky. I deal with my friend Chris on the music for our podcast, which is basically very much like a short film. I mean, it's an audio comedy, with music, incidental music, as well as a song or two and every episode. And I could say that I would give him 5 stars because he understands exactly what I want. I can say, make this sound, give him some lyrics, and I'll just say, make this sound like it came from the Music Man, musical. Sure. And he totally gets it. And so we're really communicating well. If there's any questions, he can easily, respond and say, how about this? Or he can give me a couple of different approaches. I can say, yeah, more like the first one or the second one. And very quick response. And it's something I just don't have to worry about. All that stuff would make me give a 5-star review to him or to anybody else that I would hire to visit.
Okay, we got 2 live 5-star reviews. Appreciate that, team.
That was super helpful.
So, we'll say this reviewer is from Muka Flix, and we'll say this one's from La Resistance. Here's your 3-star and 5-star reviews. So, how would you take some of these things people said and either speak to things that they find lacking or things that you would kind of share that you're able to do, kind of speaking already to what people are looking for? You want to give it a shot, Sadia?
Yeah, I'm trying to put the thoughts together. So maybe I could start out with asking, are you looking for a music maker that can bring you something fresh, but this won't be in any order, but is very good to work with? The words in my head, I'm trying. Someone, I would talk about being flexible and let's see.
Well, let me make a suggestion. So for all of us, what we're really trying to do is copy people's exact words.
Okay.
Because right now, what I find a lot of us are trying to do is take what they're saying as inspiration for our own copy. But we want them to do the heavy lifting for us and to use their almost exact words. So are there any phrases in here, maybe just one sentence, that speaks out to you? And we don't have to jump to, here's how I'd say it. But is there any phrases that you're like, okay, I like that phrase?
Yes. So I like that first phrase.
This one?
Yes, that first one. Where she says she likes when people take her by the hand and guide her.
Okay. We'll do this as a collaboration. We'll give Sadia some breathing room. Is there any phrases in here that sticks out to anybody else?
I would say in the lacking department, they won't take feedback.
Okay, won't take feedback. Come with the set idea and won't take feedback. Jonathan, is there anything sticking out to you?
I don't want to be your inspiration.
I don't want to be your inspiration. Adora, anything sticking out to you?
I want to be able, well, this is not, you didn't write this, but from what Dale said, I thought was very helpful is I want to be able to say, make it sound like something from The Music Man, and then you make it sound like something from The Music Man.
But even cooler.
But even better, yes.
Okay. Sadia, anything else stuck out to you?
Yes. Also, in that fourth paragraph, he totally gets it.
Fourth paragraph down here?
Yes.
Okay. What do y'all think would be a good opening line for some copy?
Is this to Sadia or everyone?
Yeah, for all of us. We'll build this one together. We are culminating experience.
Are you looking for someone who will take your hand and guide you through your music composition?
See, we're copy and paste. Which one do y'all think, if you were scrolling through your Facebook feed and you were a film scorer needing or you were a filmmaker or a podcaster or somebody in need of film scoring, and you were giving on average 3 seconds to each post, which opening line would draw you in the most?
I like the first one better.
First one?
Yeah, it feels more positive to me. I'm more drawn to that one.
Okay. Dale?
Yeah, I think that's more attractive. I think you can get into the complaints or the other stuff a little further down, but if you're only looking at one line, that's the better.
You cut off right at the end.
Sorry, I'm saying the
first one?
The first one, yes.
Okay.
And that it's useful to talk about the complaints as well, but just not as your opener.
Not as your opener. Okay. Adora, Sadia, which one speaks out to you the most?
I like the first one.
First one.
Yeah.
Sadia, which one do you like better?
Wow, I actually like the second one.
Second one.
Yeah.
I do too. So 3-2. So what you really could do is there's a thing called Facebook ad A/B testing. And you could literally run the same ad with the different opening line to the exact same audience and see which one performs cheaper. So we can do, both, but this is just a good way for us to see that it's almost a 50-50 split. Where would we go next? Are you looking for someone who will take you by the hand and guide you through your music composition? Or are you tired of working with composers who come in with a set idea and won't take feedback? What I'd like everybody to do is we're just going to take these last 3 minutes. You can use whatever opening line you like best, and I just want you to type up a little copyright you could use using some of these words to explain why people should hire you as a film composer. Does that make sense?
Sorry, I'm a little confused. Did you say we should do this?
Yes.
All of us should do film composer. We shouldn't do for our own specific work.
If you'd like, you can do for your own work. If you feel you can remember what I had pulled up, go ahead and summarize those things. But if you want to get a little more practice using actual people's reviews, it's up to you. You can do whichever one you'd like.
Let me see what I can do for my own work.
But we're just going to take about 3 minutes, so it might be easier to just use the one pulled up already. Okay. Everybody ready? Who wants to share theirs first?
I'll go.
Okay. Jonathan's up.
I'm not sure how extensive this was supposed to be, but this is what I wrote.
Okay.
Are you looking for someone who will take you by your hand and guide you through your musical composition? I'll work with you closely, offering a variety of different approaches to help us find the perfect fit for your film. You bring the ideas, I'll bring the inspiration.
Hey! You're hired. I love that. Could y'all hear where you're tying in the words? Well played, Jonathan. Okay. Who would like to go next? Dale?
All right, so mine's a little longer. Are you looking for a composer who gets you, who can take you by the hand and guide you through your music composition? Are you tired of dealing with composers who come in with fixed ideas and won't listen to feedback? I pride myself on flexibility, reliability, and communication. I listen to your ideas and give you back something that exceeds your wildest expectations.
Yes. Snap it up for Dale. Well done.
I'm wondering, how do people feel about cutting and pasting all of these into the chat window so Sadia can copy them and use them in the future?
Oh, that'd be dope. Yeah.
Yes, this is so helpful.
Adora, you want to do yours?
Mine is not so helpful for Sadia, but might be useful for me.
Okay.
Are you looking for a new up-and-coming blogger with fresh ideas? Are you tired of scrolling through your social media feeds and just seeing a big fat sponsored logo in the corner? Would you like to watch a review and not wonder if the person talking about these things actually likes them or is being paid to say they like them? Well, you should definitely check out Afro Britain's site. She talks about style, culture, food, and art in an honest and personal way, like meeting up with an old friend for lunch and having her tell you how awesome both your lives are going to be.
I love it. Yes. Can you snap it up for Adora?
I know I kind of stole from the Badass review as well, but I thought that was useful.
That's what they're here for. We are literally here to steal. We are all thieving copywriters.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did mine in the inspiration of kind of if you were to do a longer post Facebook ad, which is one strategy people have been employing, and you kind of see where I bolded where the words I took out. Music makes everything better. That's where a film composer comes in. Someone who understands exactly what you want, who totally gets it. Someone you can say, make it sound like something from blank, and then can make it sound like that, but even cooler. What you don't want in a film composer is people with a set and inflexible idea, who won't take feedback, who wants you to be the inspiration, who needs you to guide them every step of the way. If you're looking for someone who will take you by the hand and guide your idea to life, who will give you different examples, approaches, and is very responsive. If you're looking for a process where you don't have to worry about it and it comes back amazing, then let's work together.
Nice.
Any questions or any thoughts? Oh, Sadia, last but certainly not least, and the most relevant for sure.
Oh.
I'm barely okay. All I wrote down was do you want your music to sound like music from the Music Man? And then I could have like a little sample of my music that I made sound like the Music Man, but of course I could do it with different specifics, and that's as far as I got.
That's awesome. And can we stab it up for Sadia? I like how you applied it directly to your sample pack, which we had talked about during one of our coaching calls. That could be your free opt-in, a sample pack. Are you looking for music from the Music Man, but even cooler? Are you looking for music like this? And you could have a 5 royalty-free sample pack that people could use. It's awesome. Just have at the beginning, you're like, DJ Sadia, we the best music. So people know that it's you, you know? Any questions, any thoughts before we jump off this one? Okay. So does everybody recall your 7 themes that you're using as inspiration for your weekly posts? Yes? No. So we have 2 more minutes and then we're going to sign off. So just if you can, we're going to do 30 seconds of themes are anything you can draw on as inspiration for your posts. Themes could be quotes, celebrities, heroes, articles, selfies, any sort of theme that you can pull from when you're looking for your daily post. So we're going to take 30 seconds, just freestyle any themes that you want to pull from over the next 2 weeks before we meet again, and then we're going to sign off. Okay? Okay, and as you're just finishing up your last sentences, for those who are on for the twice a month, our next session is going to be 5 p.m. Pacific time on the 15th. If you're on the once a month, we will see you again on September 1st at 11 a.m. If there's anything specifically you'd like us to focus on for either of your sessions, feel free to send me an email and I can have some sort of tool or exercise all ready to go for us. But just want to thank you all. So why don't you give a high five to somebody above, below, around you. And we always close with some self-love. So put your arms in front of you like this. Cross them. Give yourself a hug. Because you're an amazing business owner, making a difference out there. Any questions y'all have, feel free to text or email me, and we can touch base if you need to. But just want to thank y'all for sharing your business, your time, and your energy with us. Hope y'all have a great rest of your Saturday.
Thanks.
Peace, y'all. Greetings, Tom Merrill here. Just want to say peace before you head out. I hope you enjoyed 3-star reviews. I use this tool all of the time in my business. And if you're resonating with this workshop and you want to learn more strategies and tools and resources you can use to scale your business, whether that's a side hustle, a creative project, a brick and mortar business, a service, whatever it is you want to use, as I mentioned last week, there are no longer gatekeepers if you want to share your message. If you think of 10 years ago, if you wanted to run an ad, what were your options? Billboard, commercials, print. If you think about the amount of money it costs to run one of those ads, and if you think about the huge audience you reached, it was so vague. You had no idea who was going to drive in front of this billboard or see this commercial or read the newspaper. Now, if you want to run an ad, you can go on Facebook, run an ad for $5 a day, and you can get that ad in front of an audience that is super specific to you. Not only that, you can look and see the metrics of did people actually like the ad. The cost of entry is lower than it's ever been. The tools you can use to know if you are successful are more sophisticated than ever been. And the opportunity you have to genuinely connect with your audience and build a meaningful relationship is more empowering than it has ever been. There is a theme here, my friends, that right now, the end of 2018, moving into 2019, is the moment you've been waiting for if you have been waiting for a moment. So I'd love for you to take advantage of this opportunity, join the Celebration Academy, and become a member of Inner Power Group Coaching. If you join before the end of 2018, I will gift you with 50% off your first month. You can check that out, tomrell.com/coach. Use coupon code DREAMBIG for 50% off, tomrell.com/coach. As always, my friends, I look forward to seeing you next week. It means the world to me that you have gifted me with your time today. And as always, I'm wishing you peace and blessings. Thank you.